Good morning, everyone. Hello, friends. I wanted to jump on here real quick. I know we're going probably some of us into the second 9 weeks, and we'll have some SBLC meetings we'll need to complete. It's been enough time for progress monitoring to have occurred, and I want to go over the top 5 things you need to have for your next SBLC meeting. For those of you new counselors who don't know what SBLC is, that's your school building level committee. You might be the chairperson, you might not, but you want to make sure that these top 5 things are there and in place. Number 1, you want to make sure that your administrators are there. I was at a school one year where administrators kind of popped in and popped out, and nothing can be decided without administrators sign in. Okay, so you want to make sure your administrators are there, whether it's your building principal or your APs. You're going to want to make sure that your diagnostician, your social worker, you as a counselor, your master teacher, your RTI, literacy coach, and a regular teacher is there, and a parent if it's part of that time where a parent would be there. That's number 1. Make sure all the team members are there, and especially administrator. Number 2 is having an agenda. You want to have an agenda to stay on task. Some of these meetings can go on for hours if we're not on task. So we want to make them as efficient as possible. So make sure you have an agenda. Okay, so number 1, make sure you have all members present, especially admin. Number 2, you want to have your agenda set. Number 3, you want to have a sign-in sheet. A sign-in sheet is very important to have if ever you're audited, to see who was there and in attendance. And especially if your admin isn't there and your special services support wants to see who was attending this meeting and who was making the decisions. Remember, as a counselor, we do not make decisions on our own. We are there as part of a team, okay? So the sign-in sheet allows for the support people can see who was in attendance, and especially if a parent is questioning who was in attendance and making these decisions about their student. So you want to have an agenda, admin, all team members, your agenda to stay on task, your sign-in sheet to see who was in attendance. Number four is your list of students. Every meeting you have, you're going to have a list of students or topics you're going to talk about. You want to have those tracking sheets as well for those students that you are looking who have been progress monitored, okay? So you want to make sure those are there so that you can make your notes on them, okay? So number 1 is your team members, especially your admin, your agenda sheet to stay on task, your sign-in sheet of who was there, and your tracking sheets for the list of students that you're going to be discussing. And number 5, probably one of the most important things is your data. If it's an ELA situation that you're looking at a student, you want to make sure you have the ELA data coming from, if it's comprehension, if it is writing task, if it's anything to do with literacy, your literacy coach and your ELA teacher needs to be there, and their data needs to show. A lot of schools now work based off of online programs. So a lot of those programs like iReady, Amira, for ESL students, Imagine Learning, have assessments built in, and so you can pull that data from those online. If you need anything else, you might have a beginning of the year assessment for your littles like Dibbles or Dibbles, for your K3 screening. You can have those results. Your RTI teacher can assist with those as well. If it's math that you're looking at, Zern, IXL, those programs on course, they have built-in assessments as well. And you could do times table assessments. If it's math computation, a lot of those programs, curriculum programs have middle of the year, beginning of the year, end of the year assessments as well, so they can use those. So make sure you have your data, because that is going to allow you to determine your next steps. Okay, so those are the five top things you need to have for your next SBLC meeting when you're progress monitoring. Admin, make sure your admin is there and all committee members are